Hey, folks, let's get going. Thanks for joining us. Larry O'Connor here. In just a few moments, we're going to talk to the one, the only, my pal, your pal. You love him. Yeah, he drives you crazy. He drives me crazy too. Can we not hear this? I'm not showing any audio going through. Oh, hold on. Let me make sure I'm set up properly for audio. Dot 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 dot. Dot 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 dot. It should be working. All right. Well, I'm going to assume it's working unless somebody tells me otherwise. We're going to bring in Kurt Schlichter, my colleague over at townhall.com. It's our monthly book club. We're talking about his book. Usually we do a spy thriller, we do a Brad Thor book, we do a Vince Flynn book, we're doing a Vince Flynn book next month. We did Jack Carr last month and his new thriller, but we're doing a nonfiction book. But let me tell you something. This book, you read it if you're part of our book club. This has a lot of thriller fiction in it as well. Or is it fiction? It, of course, is the bestseller, I'll Be Back. Hey, Meredith, can you bring me my copy of I'll Be Back? It's in my backpack. Thanks, honey. Thank God I've got an associate producer here. Let's bring him on. He's the one. He's the only. He's Kurt Schlichter right there. Hello, Kurt Schlichter.
Hey, player.
Oh, turn your mic on, big guy.
It is on.
I can hear you for some reason.
No, it's on. It is on.
Yeah. Good Lord. How's that?
I'm good for me.
All right, hold on. Let me change my audio settings. You know what? Leave me alone. Everybody leave me alone. I'm an audio professional here. There you go. How's that?
Talk. It's good for me.
Oh, this is just a nightmare. This is a freaking nightmare.
Everything is ass.
Entertain everybody. And I'm going to step out for a moment. I'll be right back. Go ahead, Kurt. Go ahead. You're fine. Just talk.
Can you hear me?
Talk and entertain.
Can anyone hear me?
Act like
Does
you're...
anyone know what I'm saying?
Act like you're hosting the Hugh Hewitt show. Just don't go to commercial.
Just have like a bunch of coffee. Well, now I'd like to talk to you about food for the poor, which is a thing that happens a lot on the Hugh Hewitt radio program. I'd like to stay FCC compliant. We'll be talking to a lot of people in the radical center, which is a thing that goes on there. I don't know. Can anyone even hear me? I feel like I'm out there. I feel like a bulwark guy just kind of touching himself for no reason. What a sad commentary. Very comfortable shirt, by the way. It is a comfy shirt. So I'm just kind of, wow. See, I need to do my stream of courteousness today, which I will film with this. See, I always carry a 20 in my phone in case I need a 20. And I've got my phone, so I can do that. This is great, by the way, Larry. This is amazing radio. And we're just doing whatever the hell this is. Do you got me yet?
How's it going?
Do you got me yet? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're doing good.
You can hear me?
Selling? Is it selling
Sarah
well?
Smith, you sound great.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just reading your lips because I seriously can't hear a damn thing.
You can't hear a damn thing.
All right, keep talking. Just keep telling everybody. We got a ton of people here. They want to hear
Sarah
about your book.
Me.
Don't tell them about the book yet. I have questions for you about the book. So tell them about walking the dog. Tell them about walking the dog. Oh, your dog. Tell them about your dog. Your dog is ailing, right?
My dog is ailing. My dog had a mast cell tumor, and she had to have it cut. That was Bitey. So Bitey's wearing a cone, and is highly drugged out. So it's kind of but Bitey will be fine. And Barky is doing better after his problems last year. I gotta say, veterinarians are freaking expensive. I spent a lot of money on that dog. Free dog, rescue dog, don't buy it. Not free. Not free. Pricey. Pricey dog. The dog is very pricey. And this is like the first time in my life I've ever been at a loss for words. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I do know I'm not going to listen to that retarded mutant's malaise speech tonight. Last thing I need to be is talked down to by that desiccated old pervert. And yeah, I'm going to say it. They're semi-fascist. Why don't you eat my butt? Eat my butt. That sounds amazing. So I'm not a big fan of President Biden, as you might guess, because daddy showers, not a thing. I just think that's a bad thing, and I think it's gross, and they ought to never. Why would you vote for this guy? What the hell's wrong with you people? Not you people, but in general. Okay. Do you want me to get on the StreamYard? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I'm just doing my thing. Here I am. 7 minutes in. I can have Tommy tell jokes. I know. I'm just killing the vibe here. Because I was just upstairs reading.
Don't worry, everybody. I'm here to save the day. Good God. Kurt, I'm so sorry.
Oh, I was just terrible.
I know.
I was just rambling. It wasn't even stream of courteousness. It was stream of assishness.
What happened was I picked up this intern to help me out here with the tech. His name's Jim Swift. Seems like a nice guy.
He also mops.
Well, I mean, yeah, and clearly he needs some extra cash to, replenish the food budget every month. So,
well, food's getting more expensive, and that's for Jim Swift.
That is. And that's right from your book. I'll be
because
back.
He's fat.
I said that we're going to talk about. I said we're going to talk about your book, and I saw you roll your eyes. It's like you're sick of talking about your book. How could you be sick of talking about this book?
July 12th, I've been talking about nothing but my book. And as you're aware, I have a particular beef with the AM disc jockeys, who are repurposed as the conservative guys.
So yeah, tell me about that, because you do all these radio shows, and you find these guys.
Any radio show that calls me.
This is true. What's your favorite one in North Dakota? It's in Fargo,
Debo
I think.
and the Boner.
That's the one. Debo and the Boner. Those guys are great.
Morning Zoo.
They're great. Do they have the bicycle horn?
Silos.
So what you're telling me is, in the radio business, there's a whole bunch of morning jocks who are seeing their numbers dwindle to nothing, and the only way they can continue their career is to do conservative talk radio.
Now they're the conservative guy.
This makes perfect sense.
They go from spinning, the best of ELO to, hey,
it is.
How about Trump? Right? He's okay.
So when we get our Nielsen ratings on the radio station, they tell us, because people use these meters that pick up this silent sound wave that tells the meter what radio station they're listening to. It's all witchcraft. None of it works. Don't tell Nielsen I said that. I could get fired. Anyway, what we do is we see on the reports, it says what radio station they were listening to before they turned to your radio station. And more often than not, it's classic rock. They're listening to the best of ELO. They're listening to.
So somebody's like the 15th time today that they played Don't Stop Believin', and they're like, fine.
Right.
Fine, I'll go listen to Larry. He's got Nikki Haley on.
I actually did have Nikki Haley today. Don't you know what? Don't be criticizing my show. Don't you want to go there? You want to start critiquing each other's
Nikki Haley's a great Nikki Haley. You know how much I despise Nikki Haley. She got. I mean, this IRS thing's.
That's right. I said. It sounded to me like Nikki Haley is starting to figure out what time it is. I said that on the show. Happen. I said. Well,
they break into the records of her Eagle Forum for Liberty forums and eagles and families. Also the flag plus eagles.
Let's get, for everybody knows Kurt Schlichter. And by the way, this is the first. Oh, really? Are we doing this now? Is that the brand we're sort of emulating here?
I'm just doing a shake weight.
Is that a town hall thing? Is that what we're doing?
Trying to work it out. I'm trying to work out, man. Trying to get
We're doing a first here, by the way, Kurt. I usually don't live stream these on Twitter as well. But I figured, since you have a few people on Twitter who like to know what you're up to, so you should.
Should I tell them? People know. Give me a link.
Yeah, give them a tweet.
Send me a link.
You need to send you a link. You have a link.
How do I find a link? How do I tell them where I am? I don't know how to do this.
All right, hang on.
Hold on. Let me see. I'm afraid if I send them this link, it'll bring them.
No. Don't send them that. Don't send them the link I gave you.
Have some guy.
Good God, that would be a nightmare. That would be an absolute nightmare. Hang on, let me get
My
to
name's
it here.
Jeff Anus.
Hold on, Jeff or Sarah will send you a link, and then you'll be able to tweet the hell out of it.
Send me text it to me, and then I'll.
There you go.
I will Twitter.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it.
That'll be amazing.
All right. So First of all, how's it going? You must be exhausted. The book hit
I'm
like
I'm so freaking tired.
was
And
it
now I'm
seven
spinning up
weeks
for
ago?
the next novel, which comes
Yeah.
out October 15th.
So, and that's why I'm really happy that our book club on our locals page. By the way, for those of you who are watching us on YouTube or Facebook, on Twitter, this is all this is the book club that we have on the Larry O'Connor locals page. You can join it. The URL's right there at the bottom of your screen. And we do a ton of fun stuff, including a book club. Every month, we interview the author of a book. Like I said, Jack Carr was last month. Brad Thor was the month
I
before
just did
that.
Jack Carr for 2 hours.
It's a great podcast that he does, the Danger Close
Yeah,
podcast.
he's really
Yeah,
good. And
he's
was
great. He's a great guy.
I was actually a good guest on his as opposed to this.
Have you watched you? Here's the thing, Kurt. You know, we go
radio cancer today.
We go so far back. You can do literally anything, and we're going to have a good time. So, I mean, for God's sake,
that's true.
We've known each other 12 years, 13 years now. Is that possible?
It's closer to 13 and a half.
God, that's insane.
We did my first in studio national hit was while you were guest hosting for Dennis Miller.
Right.
That was where I got dumped for saying sodomy.
You did. You said, did you say sodomy or sphincter?
No, I said sodomy. I was mad, right? Because it was like Salem. And right. I was like, it's in the Bible. Why are you dumping it?
It's right out of Genesis, for God's sake.
It's right. Yeah. Is Genesis have the one with Sodom and Gomorrah?
Oh, yes. Both Sodom and Gomorrah happened in Genesis. Absolutely.
You know, I told I did the Babylon Bee. I did like 100 hits. I did the Babylon Bee. I told him my favorite joke that I wrote when I was a stand-up. And it was, we all know what happened. We all know what happened in Sodom. What happened in Gomorrah that was so bad no one will ever talk about it?
That's right.
They didn't. I think that's my funniest joke. You're not laughing either. They didn't.
Oh well, I've heard it a few times, Kurt. You want me to give you a fake laugh? Am I supposed to give you a fake laugh? Is that where we are now?
Pretend it's a Bulwark wedding night.
There we go. There we go. Now you'll get a genuine laugh.
They're sexually dysfunctional.
They really are. You have a few. I do like the oblique Bulwark references in I'll Be Back, by the way.
Oh, there's plenty of them. I actually had to be. I swear, God, this is true. I had to be talked out of dedicating it to the Bulwark wives' boyfriends.
Wait. Who did you dedicate it to instead? I didn't see the dedication.
Oh, I think my dad.
Second choice. Okay, Plan B. I'll dedicate it to my dad.
Plan B. Sorry, Dad. I know you passed away. I'm giving you this.
Oh, that's awful. All right, so we've already got a Sodom reference. We've got the boyfriends of the wives of the Bulwark staffers reference, and a Nikki Haley reference. I think we're about to hit for the cycle, Kurt, and we're only 5 minutes into this damn thing.
I'm waiting for President Gumby Vaughn shower with the kids to give his speech about how we suck tonight.
Well, and that's the thing. We got to wrap this up before we get called fascist by our uniting president a little later this evening.
Fuck him.
Anyone who's watching this after the fact, it is September 1st, and we're expecting to hear that. Although I might miss it and pick up the highlights tomorrow morning. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I can stomach sitting.
I'd rather have something lit on fire and shoved up my ass.
Well, honestly, my article, I wrote an article today at Town Hall, and I was inspired because I refreshed myself on your book, because I read your book. You sent me a PDF like in March, I want to say, or February, and I read it then, and I wanted to have it fresh in my mind for our conversation tonight. And boy, it's a good thing, because all this talk about Trump saying that all you brave right wingers, if you want to use a gun for your freedom, you better get more because you're going to need an F-15. Let's start right there, because this is exactly sort of the premise you have about a third of the way into your book when you talk about either the Great National Divorce or the Second Civil War. And Mr. President Unity isn't doing much to calm down that kind of climate, is he?
No, and I've just written my town hall for Monday on it's entitled AR-15s versus F-15s. Who you got? And I expand on that particular narrow thing. The book talks about it in a lot more detail. But the purpose of the book is, I think a lot of people are talking about this stuff in a very frivolous and superficial way, and that includes some people on our side. Yeah. Although I don't care if our people do it, because it's our people and fuck the other side. But Joe Biden is a ridiculous buffoon who showers with his daughter. And that's not even the freakiest interpersonal relationship he's got in his family. I'm just throwing that out there. Pedophile. So anyway, when you look at this stuff, I looked at it with a guy with a little bit of experience, a little time in the military, a little time overseas. And I thought through some of the scenarios. And I wanted to show people what it looked like as ground truth, not big picture. Oh, yeah, we'd win. Well, I do think we'd win, but what's that mean? What's that cost? What's that really look like? And I did throw in some little vignettes, some little fictional scenarios.
You did. There was a little bit of fiction in there, and I appreciated that.
I think that's one of the best ways to illustrate this stuff, because you can talk and talk and talk, but a novel or fiction, and I got the Kelly Turnbull novels, of which I'm writing number 7. I wrote about 1,000 words today. It's coming out October 5th. It's fantastic. This one's really good, and it actually delves into some of the tougher questions about what we're talking about. About what would we do, like once we won, for instance. And the answers aren't all happy. The thing is, people haven't really been thinking this stuff through. You've got. I find myself listening to this borderline clinical moron, and that dipshit he has as his press secretary, the one who's like, everyone who disagrees with us is an extremist. And I'm thinking, do you understand the level of hate you're generating? You don't.
I think the answer is yes. I think that's the lie here is that he pretends to be a unifier.
No. I think he understands the energy he gives to his base. I don't think he understands the hatred he's engendering around normal people. Because I spent a lot of time in America in the last 6 weeks, flying around, and I gotta say, people are angry, and it's not a, let's go take selfies in the Capitol angry. It's a cold fury, which is a really scary kind of angry. And that this dipshit baiting people, basically saying you're just going to have to suck it up, there's nothing you can do. Has he ever met human beings before? Probably not.
Well, no, he's worked in DC, and he's got Dr. Jill to protect him.
There's way too many people in DC who's never gotten the living shit kicked out of them. Okay.
Stuff with other than that one run-in with Corn Pop.
Corn Pop and beat the fuck out of him.
See, we both
because then maybe he would understand. If I piss people off, bad shit can happen. It doesn't always work out the way I'm hoping.
So we're talking about Kurt's latest book. We'll be back. Excuse me. And
I'll be back.
And I just skipped over the first third of it, but now I want to go in reverse a little bit, because you do a real valuable thing here. You talked about how you use your real world experience serving in the military, serving overseas. You reference your time in Kuwait as well as Kosovo, but
it was northern
not in
Saudi
Kuwait,
Arabia.
excuse me, Saudi Arabia. Sorry about that. But you also obviously draw on your knowledge going to the Army War College, because there's a lot of historic, very relevant.
You would think that I would get that from the War College, but a lot of it was like, please don't scare the civilians. I mean, it's really like charm school for generals.
Well, there was a hell of a lot of military history in there.
There's a lot of stuff.
Starting with the Romans. And I think that a lot of people compare us to the Romans. The Roman Empire fell, and that's why we're going to fall. But people think that that's because, Caligula had orgies and stuff. But there's actually quite a bit more to it
There's a bit more than, banging your horse.
Right. As long as we don't bang our horse, we're not going to fall. But no, actually, you point to how
we're in trouble.
Yeah. Right. Especially if you're the son of the president. First, there's one premise here that you laid out that I want you to expand on a little bit, if you can, which is going back to Rome. Rome started out a certain way, then it morphed into something else, then it morphed into something else, and then it morphed into something else before it ended. But it always was Rome. When people talk about America changing or America declining or America coming to an end, America doesn't have to come to an end, but America is going to change, and America has already changed. Sort of lay that out, because I think that's very intelligent, which I was honestly surprised at.
Yeah, I'm sure you were shocked.
Because
Schlichter's making sense. What the hell?
Like, whoa.
I'm unmoored.
Did Shapiro ghostwrite this? What the hell?
Oh yeah, Shapiro. Hour 8. Look, when you talk, people are talking about whether America will fall, where it will collapse. But what's fall really mean? You look at the Romans. They were a kingdom for a while. They had a bunch of kings. Kings pissed people off. They formed the Republic. The Republic, of course, changed over time, and later was kind of morally exhausted. They had the Mens Maiorum, which is kind of their unwritten constitution, and they had a way of doing things. And you had these guys, often generals, who essentially said, "What? Look, I devoted my life to protecting the Republic, and what I want right now is so important. We're going to break the norms.
Yeah,
just this once.
Yeah, the norms.
Okay, there's no just this once. Okay, yeah. It's not status quo for yo, and I'm gonna do what the fuck I want. That doesn't work. It's not human nature." Rob O'Donnell in the house. That's not human nature, and it got very ugly. It got very bloody. I mean, you know, Sulla, about 100 or so years before the fall of Rome, actually marched soldiers into Rome, which was, sorry about that, which was, completely unprecedented. And Caesar did it. Marius did it. Or Marius did it, then Caesar did it. Yeah. And, every time they changed things, the idea was always, well, I'm restoring the Republic. But you're not. You're creating something different.
Right. But it was still Rome. It was just a new incarnation of Rome with some connection to what it was. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a superficial change. It was a deep structural change. But to a lot of folks, looking from the outside, they're still wearing togas. They're still,
they still got the roads.
Hitting the vomitorium.
Right.
It's not that different in many ways, but it's completely different.
Yeah.
At the same time. So America, you could look outside and there'll be cars, except in California where they'll all be electric. Look, if you look around America in 2022 and you go back to 1972, when I was alive, and I think you were probably barely conscious, it looks different, but in a lot of ways it looks a lot the same.
Right.
I mean, there's, it's not completely
identical. Think the difference with Rome, I think one of the major differences that our founders, though inspired by the Roman Republic, they were smart enough to lay down a constitution and a founding document that couldn't be altered unless through extraordinary means. Now,
which of course they immediately altered.
Which they did.
The time.
And through the court systems and through some pretty bad Supreme Court decisions, it's been fucked with, but it's still keeping us from going Rome's route.
Well,
for now,
no, I think we're following a lot, because whenever they would break the Constitution, the Roman Constitution, the unwritten Constitution, they would create a legalistic excuse. They would find a loophole or a way. Even I'm going to cancel the vote today because I heard thunder and that's a bad omen.
Right.
That kind of shit.
Yeah,
that's not too far from what we're doing today. Like President Gumby's, hoping against hope that no one can have standing to challenge his giveaway of $1 trillion as the executive. I mean, that's what he did. He was an executive. He allocated $1 trillion, and he's hoping, that the courts are simply going to say, well, under the rules, I can't really address this because you don't have standing.
Well,
or if they do, then he attacks the courts.
Oh, but screw it. Even if someone does have standing, let's face it, Roberts figured out a way to make the Obamacare individual mandate a tax, even though as they were voting on it, they said this is not a tax. So
exactly.
I have no doubt they'll figure out a way to get this through the freaking Heroes Act, which was a response to 9/11.
That's a very good point. And one of the good points, the point you're really making is a lot of people in our ruling class, like this dipshit, are very smart people, but they're not wise people. Because Roberts thinks I'm really smart and I'm really clever, and I'm going to come up with this convoluted bullshit explanation that I can slap kind of, a veneer of legality on,
right,
to get what I want. When what I want is clearly something the Constitution forbids, but I'm going to do it because I want a different effect, which is to maintain the integrity of the institution.
Right.
Well, to maintain the integrity of the institution has to actually have integrity.
Right.
And now people just, it's just another block of the Jenga. Another block from the Jenga tower.
Now, this example that we just talked through actually isn't in the book, but Kurt provides a ton of examples, as you know, as to how the American citizenry, one thing after another feels beaten down. And you talk about we always think of the checks and balances, Kurt, as the three-party system, or the three branches of government, and Congress has a check on executive, and the courts have checks on both of them, and all that stuff. But you articulate the fact that we, the people, with our vote, we are the ultimate check and balance on these people. And now we feel like that's disintegrating. And that's where it gets dangerous.
That kind of is. We have a ruling class that is misusing the system for its own benefit, more than usual. Look, everybody's got a ruling class. I don't mind if they take a little off the top if they're doing a good job. Nancy Pelosi's friggin' palatial vineyard wouldn't bother me if everything was going swimmingly, right? I'd be like, I'm busy, managing my portfolio. But that ain't how it is. So this grates. And but the thing is, they keep finding reasons why we can't have a say, and reasons how to keep us. Oh, well, see, it's not violating freedom of speech because it's my friends at Facegram Insta that are stopping you from talking. Right. So it's okay. And the bottom line is, they keep pushing and pushing, and, and it's getting worse and worse. And I think we've seen people go, I don't really care about all your, explanations. You can't have public school teachers trying to fuck my kids.
Yeah.
That's no. Well, you see, it's important we have free. Don't care.
Right. And
oh my gosh, you can't say gay in Florida. Well, if it's a choice between not saying gay in Florida or you guys having sex with my kids, guess which one I'm coming down on?
Well, and here in the D.C. area, in Virginia,
that ain't the choice. But
in Virginia Beach, they put a law in that determined that a couple of books that had been put in a school library for 8th graders that had literal pornographic sex and like pictures of pornographic sex.
Yes.
This book called Genderqueer. They said, we're not going to have this in our school library. Public library, fine. Sell it at the bookstores, fine. Give it to your friends, fine. But it's not going to be in the taxpayer-funded school library for children.
But see, the thing is, they know somebody's got to decide what's in the library.
Yeah.
They just don't want it to be normal people.
That's right. And the court struck that down as
you just don't get to make it because you're not part of the clerisy. And I think Americans are like, I don't remember civics really well because I was kind of hungover, but fuck you. That's not how this shit works. Fuck you.
I think that was actually one of the rejected lyrics from the Schoolhouse Rock "I'm Just a Bill" song. I think they killed that last verse.
Well, I'd say it was an outtake from 1776. Fuck you in the shitbox, King George III. You're nothing but a powdered wig-wearing turd.
I believe that is a lyric in Hamilton.
It is. That is one of the lyrics.
Long way.
Not a lot of people got it.
We've come a long way.
I thought it was
all right. So you talk about this, and this is all sort of laid out in your opening chapters, lighting the fuse, the unraveling. It leads us to what you give us. And why are you chuckling? I'm actually doing a book interview.
Because I'm highly amused. I quoted musical theater, and you just
well, of course you did. This is my brand. I appreciate you coming down to my level. So then you have 3
Thank you.
chapters.
For God's sake, John, sit down.
3 chapters with, oh, by the way, wait, I got to tell you, you may not know this. There's a revival of 1776 slated for Broadway this year.
Oh, is it some sort of trans fucking thing?
100% female and trans cast.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Of course.
All right, so then you have
For God's
3.
sake, John, sit down.
Sit
I'm
right
not
here.
John. My pronouns are.
Sit right here on my lap, John. No, face the other way. All right, so you give us 3.
1 useless man is a disgrace. 2 is a law firm. 3 is NSNBC.
3 is a fabulous drag show.
Booyah! Okay, look, I think I am. Oh man!
All right, so wait. So,
when you get the Kinder involved.
All right, so hold on. Let me get back to the.
All right.
There's a book in question here. We're talking about I'll Be Back. We'll Be Back. Why are you I'll Be Back?
We'll be back. Somebody will be back.
So then you give us 3 chapters, and it's like 3 options. The National Divorce, the Second Civil War, Blue Rebellion, the Second Civil War, Red Revolution. Let's take these one at a time. And again, I do love that you filtered in these fictional vignettes about where we are, what happens, what leads to these moments. And it's really, again, shockingly brilliantly done. I'm curious as to who wrote this for you.
I know, right? This is part of a phenomenon I see, because I'll listen to you on the radio and I'll be like, he's Larry. He sits right over there. He drinks my fucking wine, throws up. Fucking, I have to find his shoe.
I haven't thrown up in your house.
He's just like handling it, and you're swinging it for the Hadid Carpet Company traffic report, and it's like, and you're like good at it, and I'm like, huh. It's like when I saw Nick Searcy on stage, right? Usually it's me and him talking smack about liberal pussies.
Fucking Nick Searcy can act. Who knew?
And he's like, I saw him on stage. He's a real actor. He's like technically proficient, and it's just kind of like, huh, it's another side of this goofy guy that I party with.
That's right, Larry. See, exactly. The Constitution is the amendments are a 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a musical theater thing. All right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So let's start with the national divorce, because I keep hearing that all the time from people. Oh, we're just going to have a national divorce. People are going to go to their corners. They're going to live where they want to live, and we'll have our common borders and we'll have our common defense, but for the most part, we're just going to go our own way. Why is that unrealistic?
Well, look, I think we are seeing a sorting, right? I traveled to Florida, Texas, Tennessee, and people were like, "When are you moving out here?" Just all these Californians. I think there is a sorting, and I think a lot of it is conservatives in places like New York and California, because the conservatives that come to these states, it's no longer like, oh yeah, we're bringing in Facebook and it's a bunch of fucking liberals. No, it's conservatives moving now, and it's making places redder, and we're seeing that.
Yeah.
So I think we will see a sorting.
By the way, even with the influx of immigration, I mean, you would think that Florida and Texas are under enormous pressure of immigrants who are going to vote illegally, and even with that, you're still seeing Republican dominance in those places.
Well, and also you're seeing Latinx Americans, which I'm familiar with, are moving right.
Yeah.
I mean, these are common sense people, and if you say, hey, Pedro, I'd like to cut Juan's penis off and turn him into Isabella because he feels like a girl. Are you okay with that? I got to tell you, from my experience with the Latino American community, no es bueno.
No. Yeah.
Not going for it. Yeah. Not playing that shit. And, I hate to sound like a Marxist, but I think a lot of it is really class. And the Republican Party has become largely a working class and entrepreneurial middle class party. And the Democrat Party is the party of the very poor welfare cheats and the very rich and this kind of pseudo intelligentsia that's, very short on the intelligence part.
Yeah. All right. So the sorting is happening. And that could theoretically lead to this national divorce thing. Well, but it sounds like you dismiss it pretty quickly in the book, though, as unfeasible.
I don't think it's actually going to happen where you're going to have two states, the red and a blue, which is the subject of the People's Republic novels. I mean, it could happen, but you've got a lot of problems. The first is this ain't like the Civil War time. The South was pretty much the South, except for places like Tennessee was split. West Virginia broke off from Virginia because they didn't want to be Confederates. So you had some places that were, red in the blue Confederacy because the Confederates were, of course, Democrats. But it was easy to do geographical. It would have been much more possible. Now you look at Texas, you got Austin, you got downtown Houston, you got downtown Dallas.
Right.
I mean, these are blue places. What happens to these people?
That's the problem. It's not a state by state thing. It's a region by region thing within those states. It's like the city mouse versus the country mouse thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think what you will see is states looking like California, which is basically fuck you if you're blue. We're just going to do everything we want, and you get no say.
Right? No, fuck you if you're red. If you're
Well, in California, it's fuck you if you're red.
Yeah.
By
the way, can I just pause for a minute there?
If you're blue, which is fine.
I have to say, and I'm sure you know the origins. Back in the 80s, if you look at the network coverage of the 1984 election, all the Reagan states are blue, and the Carter state, the one state, is red.
It still freaks me out.
It used to be Republicans used to be blue states, and Democrats were red states. And in fact, if you look at European elections right now, the conservative party in whatever European country is always blue. The liberal socialist country always is red.
Labor
is red. Because they're reds. And I think someone told me, like, James Carville, asked the networks to switch that because Democrats, everyone thinks we're communists and we're not red. You shouldn't use red for us. So it is jarring to me when you say the reds in this book, because they're the reds. They're the Fidel Castro.
Yeah, it happened in 2000, and it's still weird to me, but that's the usage. That's another thing. We have to stop getting tied up with labels, including conservative. People are like, well, Karen, it's not a conservative principle to use the power of government to control business in its attempts to turn American society into a giant sexual dysphoria fest.
Right.
You can't do that. It's not conservative. And it's like, I'm not.
Thank
you.
You
don't understand. I'm not trying to conserve shit. I'm going to burn it down and rebuild it.
By the way,
all the institutions are my fucking enemy.
You hit another one, too, that is just the biggest pet peeve of mine when you started talking about our democracy. And then you said, and yes, of course, that's wrong because we're not a democracy. We're a republic. But for fuck's sake, I don't want to waste every minute of my life constantly correcting that. It's like, because how many times do you hear that when people say, we're not a democracy, we're a republic? It's like, I know. Can we just have a conversation?
One of the rhetorical tools is to attempt to have people conform to the label they put on you rather than address the issues as a whole.
Correct.
And you just have to, and the right way to deal with that is just fuck you. Well, you're not a conservative.
Whatever.
Oh, okay, fuck you.
Let's get to the point. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going. Yes, I am going to. Here, power. Let's take Disney and DeSantis, because I talk about this in the book, and I think this has to do with the divorce issue. Disney had huge economic power.
Go ahead and keep telling this story.
And
I'll be right back, because apparently I have 2 cases of wine sitting on my porch right now.
You better get freaking moving. So I explained to everybody else.
Keep talking, and I'm going to get my wine. Okay. All right.
Okay. Well, look, that's the best excuse for abandoning your guest on the show I can imagine. Okay, guys, here's the deal. Disney is a giant corporation with huge power. And what kind of power does it have? Now, we agree it has power. It has economic power. It's got money. It has political power, because it can buy votes, that is, contribute, which is, fair. I mean, I'm not saying that's inherently wrong. It also has huge cultural power. It can change the nature of the culture, and has been attempting to do that. It's actively attempting to change the nature of the culture, and we don't get a say in that. They're expressly cutting us people out of the loop about how our own culture should be. Now, Ron DeSantis comes back and says, well, if you're going to be my enemy, that is, do things that hurt my people, I'm going to use my power to hurt you by not giving you things. He hasn't gone and like sent them to jail or anything, accused them falsely or tried to frame them like, the Democrats have done to Trump. He's just said, we're going to use our power against you. And, some people have said we need to take away their intellectual property rights. Why should we give them 100 years for told Mickey Mouse when they're, trying to ram us in the
By the way,
box?
I'm all for that. I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
Well, the thing is,
hey Eddie,
then you get the bow tie.
It's Holly Bacon
as well.
Look, it's Holly Bacon's husband saying hi.
Aw,
it's Holly Bacon's husband. Tell Holly we said hi too.
Hello. Well, we can't use our political power against them for expressing their political thoughts. Guys, they are attempting to create a change in our society, a massive change that we're not getting consulted on. This is against our will. They're just doing it and imposing it on us. Our power, we have a little economic power, but it's very diffuse. We do have political power. Why am I somehow morally obligated not to use the power I have to stop my society from being changed without my consent into something I don't want it to be?
Okay. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you're giving the justification of why this sorting is taking place and why I believe. So explain to me why you're sort of not, you're not on board with the feasibility of the great national divorce that you lay out in the book.
I think
to me, that's ultimately, that's the American people freely choosing who they want to associate with and live where they want to live. And eventually it'll sort itself out.
I think there will be more sorting, but I think the United States as a whole will remain a political entity. What form that takes being something we're not sure of. But physically, it's hard to split. How do you split the assets? Right. I mean, how do you split the debt? So America splits into red and blue, right? Let's say the coast goes blue, the center goes red.
Yeah, and we'll be our greatest trading partners. We'll still engage in commerce.
Would we?
Sure.
Well, I don't know. What happens when we start going, great, no abortions? And then one of them goes, well, we're putting economic sanctions on you. What happens when Europe does the same thing? What about war? Who's going to supply the military? Do we split up the... And God damn it. Who comes out and...
Oh, good Lord. Wait. Oh, my God. He's in California. Okay. The power grid is going down. The power grid is going down. Yeah. What's your temperature set at in your house?
Hold on. I'm going to... Wait, give me a sec.
Oh, my God. Are we going to have...
Hi, Mom. I am on the air, and I will call you when I am done. Hi, Mom. I'm on the air. I'll call you when I'm done. Thank you. Good gosh.
You know what? And I win the bet. See, he actually does have a mother, and he was actually born. He is not a cyborg from the future sent back.
Honey, would you call Mom and let her know I'm on the air?
You just became Will Ferrell in Anchorman.
I know.
Not your good. Mom!
Mom keeps calling me while I'm on the air.
Well, maybe she needs you. Go ahead. Talk to your mother.
She doesn't need me.
I'm worried that you're having trouble with your 9600 baud modem. Is everything okay?
I don't know. Oh, God, this is so fucking annoying. I just had her air conditioner replaced today. So,
oh my God,
probably wants to tell me the air conditioner's been replaced.
She's got to run it at 78 degrees because of your Governor hair gel.
Yeah, we're gonna get right fucking on that.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Here's the thing. I was on with our buddy John Phillips today.
I love John Phillips. KABC, noon to 3.
Yeah, it's you fucking Californians. I didn't say fucking because Drew Hayes has lost enough hair. Yeah. But I said, I said, it's your problem, and I want you to suffer. I'm not going to suffer. I'm a trial lawyer. Dude, I'm going to do fine. I'm going to do fine. But you people, you fucking idiots, some people can learn because they look at other people's example and go, I'm going to avoid that pitfall. Other people are like, well, I'm a dipshit. Maybe this manifestly stupid course of action will work out better for me than it has for literally everyone else who's tried it in all of human history, because I'm fucking smarter.
If you're just joining us, which some of you are, this is our monthly book club on my locals page, Larry O'Connor's local page. Check it out. URL's at the bottom of the screen. And this month we're talking to Kurt
Come
Schlichter.
say hi.
Come say hi, Irina.
Hi.
Oh, look at that firm jaw.
I saw my jaw from the side, and I don't think it's firm enough.
Not firm as your wife's.
Not me, baby.
We're talking to Kurt Schlichter, our friend, our pal, about his brand new book, We'll Be Back. All right. So, and by the way, I do love this part, because when you start to talk about the split in our country and the potential split in our country, and you start venturing into the idea of, what if there is some kind of a second civil war? You point out that you've been writing fictional accounts of this idea in your Kelly Turnbull books.
Yep.
And I think you said, 7 years ago when I started these books, they were called atrocious and horrible and hate-filled, and now they're called visionary.
Exactly.
It's pretty fantastic, actually. So,
well,
let's get to the first.
I wrote about on Town Hall today is one of their tactics, techniques, and procedures is when you warn them about a, obviously foreseeable consequence of their own mistakes, they say that you're for that consequence.
Right.
In other words,
he wants a civil
angering
war.
A lot of people that could lead to violence. You want violence.
Right.
First of all, they better pray we don't want violence. There's a whole lot of us. Second of all, I've been around violence. I've seen the consequences. Maybe you should shut the fuck up and stop being so frivolous.
Yeah. I very much appreciated that, actually, because you whenever you broach into this conversation, you start talking about what this might look like. You consistently remind everyone that this is the worst, most horrific
That's a terrible
thing to even contemplate. And
it's so unnecessary.
It is.
But human nature. You look at Rome. How many civil wars did Rome have? Answer: a lot.
Yeah.
How many of every other civilization have? A lot. This is human beings fight over politics. We live in this weird exception that our ruling class inherited. They didn't build it. They didn't create it. They're certainly not qualified to run it, as they've demonstrated. And they act like this is the default for normal people. No, the default is the biggest guy with the most guns doing whatever the fuck he wants.
Right.
And you either being on his side or complying.
Yeah.
That's the state. That's normal human nature.
And our ability to resolve our differences civilly through our Constitution and our norms and our elected representatives and our courts is the absolute exception in all of human civilization, not the rule.
And I do spend a lot of time. I say, look, I've talked about what a civil war would look like, whether it was a blue federal government oppressing reds, red federal government oppressing blues.
Yeah.
What would it? I mean, what? I've talked about what it looks like. When would it ever be justified? Because in 1776, it was definitely justified.
Yeah.
It's absolutely correct for our guys to take up arms to get the British out. Took a long time, a lot of dead people. What would it look like here?
Yeah.
And so, my conclusion is, first of all, we are miles and miles away from it. Unfortunately, they keep taking, they're wandering in that general direction.
They are. It's like they're baiting.
It is not helpful to have the president saying, well, you may have your guns, but I have F-15s. Okay. If you go to a bar and look at a big guy and go, you think you're pretty tough, but I can kick your ass. Now, he doesn't necessarily, maybe won't punch you right then, but the idea of punching you is probably going to occur to him. Why? Because it's human nature. When someone threatens you, and that's what it is, I'll kill you. You start getting uppity, I'll kill you. Which is
with my giant flying war machine. Yes.
Yes. And look for my town hall Monday. Lots of problems with that idea. But when somebody says, I'm going to hurt you, you've got to understand that in normal human experience, Not like the upper class people. Because remember, a lot of these guys went to the private school type places where it was like use your words. If you get into a fight, everybody goes, to the principal.
Yeah.
You and I grew up in 70s California, right? We saw fights. We got into fights. I got the shit kicked out of me. I like to think I kicked a few people's ass. I understand if you mouth off at somebody, you might get punched, and getting punched hurts. I prefer not to do it. A lot of these guys think the world is Twitter. And shit can get out of control fast. I saw it. I was in LA.
They think it's Twitter, or they think it's a segment on Anderson Cooper's show. It's very different. Yeah.
But remember how fast it went from zero to chaos in Los Angeles? Again, that's anger, right? Of a large group of people. I'm not justifying it. It was terrible. But it was a large group of people who rightly or wrongly felt a certain way. And it got violent very fucking fast. You were there too, right? Were you there?
Oh yeah. No, in fact, it's funny. I'm trying to remember who I was talking to the other day, where we were talking. We were imagining, because you and I didn't know each other at the time. But were you living in Manhattan Beach during the?
No, I was in Pasadena.
Oh, in Pasadena. Okay, because I was joking. I was driving from Century City, where I worked, to Manhattan Beach, and it took me.
Did you go 405?
I did, stupidly, and I was stuck on that. The transition from the 10 to the 405. I was stuck up there, and I looked to my left, to the west, to the southwest, and I saw all these fires just across all of South Central. And but I can't remember who I was talking to the other night. We were joking about this. It's like we were imagining that you and I passed each other sitting at a red light. You were heading in uniform to the riot, and I was getting the fuck out of town.
I was going into that fire area. I was going into England.
And I was leaving.
Yeah, I mean, people don't understand. Shit can disintegrate very quickly. It doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah.
It's memorable when it does. But, shit can get out of control really fast. And if if the guy trying to suppress it is a fucking idiot. Now, George W. Bush, I got a lot of problems with, but he looked at that and said, sign an insurrection order. I'm sending Marines in to support the Guard. I'm sending 7th Infantry Division in to support the Guard. I'm giving them legal power to do whatever they need to do. It went very quickly.
Yeah. HW.
Yeah. What do you think this fucking retard in the White House now do?
Whatever Susan Rice tells him to do.
Well, yeah, and what happens if, God forbid, a bunch of ATF guys pull into the wrong house. There's a shootout. ATF guys get killed. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Except instead of it just being a bunch of cranks at a compound, who were all burned alive by the FBI. What a fucking disgrace. What if it's the entire county out in fucking South Boondocks?
Right. Well,
and what are they going to do? Well, the obvious answer, use of force. We send a ton of people in. Now you got a bunch of counties going, I don't like that.
You lay this out very well, because you were part of, as you just mentioned, you were part of the National Guard response to the Rodney King riots. How many troops did it take after what? I think 4 or 5 days to finally get things under control in Los Angeles.
We had an infantry division of about 15,000. We probably had 5,000 more troops. That leaves out 20,000, at least out police. That's about 6 brigade equivalents.
Yeah.
There's 80 brigades in the whole military. Active and reserve.
So they need
it's almost 10% of the U.S. military was required to suppress one city.
Hold on, Kurt. I'm so sorry. I forgot that brilliant military tactician, Eric Swalwell. He explained all of this to us through his flatulence. And when he was coming up for air from eating out Chinese the other night.
Hot box Eric.
Yeah, he said that they've got nuclear weapons if push comes to shove here. So first of all, by the way, great language to use again if you're trying to calm things down.
Again, are you fucking stupid? And the answer is yes. He probably thought Fang Fang thought he was cool.
Yeah, when he talks nukes. Yeah, Fang Fang says, talk about H-bombs, Eric.
A nuke is a big pain in the ass because you can't use it.
Right.
What are they going to do? What are you going to do? Drop it on Los Angeles? Yeah, but
Right. Who are they using it against?
what are you going to do with an F-15?
Targeted nuclear strikes.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do with an F-15? You have 5 counties that are have essentially mobilized to keep the feds out in bumfuck Oklahoma.
Well,
you're going to bomb them,
and
who are you going to bomb?
Well, that's the thing. You also lay out the obvious, like as plain as the nose on my face, and that's pretty freaking plain. That it's not like all of the military is going to say, "Oh, yes, sir, I'm going to go ahead and shoot on American civilians." Because
I think a lot of the senior leadership would.
Well, yeah, but not the grunts.
To their shame, I think you're going to find a lot of guys going over the wall.
Of course.
I think you're going to find a lot of equipment. Hey, sir, none of our vehicles are operating. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, they didn't sign up for that. They didn't sign up for that at all.
Hey, normal Americans who, look, the military is essentially working class and lower middle class, led by middle class officers.
Right.
That's generally the military. And you're familiar with the military too. You know these. It is not. I completely. You got some ruling class people who've done their time. Yeah, some very poor guys who start out and become generals. Great. The military's a meritocracy, but it's drawn from these folks, and it's drawn largely from traditional people. It is drawn largely from legacies.
Generational, yep, absolutely.
Generational. I'm 3rd generation military, not counting, the guys who were in World War I, the Civil War, even the Revolution. I mean, Schlichters and
you're like
my family have been fucking up bitches for 250 years.
Wow, so you're more like Forrest Gump than I even knew.
Well, it's a bad analogy for a number of reasons, including the fact I would have beat the shit out of Jenny's.
I think it's pretty
boyfriend.
apt. I don't know.
It was LBJ and all the lies. Yeah, I'm still kicking your fucking ass.
Tobin needs to stop with the Go Army.
Hi, Tobin.
Screw that. You know what? That's why I just had to run away to get 2 cases. You know why I got? I love that you didn't even ask why I'm getting 2 cases of wine delivered.
I thought I knew.
It's
you're Larry.
Navy football season starts this weekend, so we've got 2 months of a lot of people in and out of the house.
So what is it? Muscatel?
Exactly. Hey, sailors drink well. You know that.
Yeah. Have you laid in some grog?
All right, so I do want to. So listen, we've already gotten into a lot of the arguments you make here about why the idea or how this so-called second Civil War is going to play out. I think people are starting to get the picture. What I am interested in, though, if you just want to take a quick moment to lay out for people from your book, you see 2 scenarios. Number 1, the Blue Rebellion. Number 2, the Red Revolution. Let's start with the Blue Rebellion. That assumes that in the next election or an election in the not too near future, America goes the way of maybe a Trump again or a DeSantis as our president. And then what happens? What's that reaction?
Well, remember, there is a spectrum of conflict. Okay, it goes from everything from low grade leftist urban insurgency, like we actually had in the 70s, Weather Underground, SLA, Black Panthers, and that was suppressed by law enforcement, all the way up to Gettysburg. Right. So it's a spectrum.
Yeah.
Antifa is on the spectrum. Remember, anything is on the spectrum of conflict if you are doing something to intimidate or force a political result outside of political power. And that's why this get in their face shit.
Yeah.
That is on the spectrum of conflict.
Right. People forget about that. This in your face, semi-violent, intimidating, bullying tactic, political rhetoric began with Barack Obama as a tactic. Yes. He literally said, when you get to Thanksgiving, when you get to Christmas, start, interrupt the dinner and start getting in people's faces and telling them why we need nationalized health care. America didn't used to be like that.
Well, look, if you say there is another way you can get what you want other than by going through a political process and convincing and persuading people and winning elections, you've now gone down the path of force. Getting in someone's face, what is the moral guardrail that keeps you from slapping them? I mean, if they're bad people, if they don't deserve enfranchisement, if they're semi-fascists,
Right.
Why don't they deserve to be slapped? If they do deserve to be slapped, where's the moral guardrail? Why do they not deserve to be shot in the face?
So where does your so-called blue rebellion sort of manifest? How do they?
Blue urban areas provided top cover by municipalities that refuse to assist federal forces and allow them to run free. And we saw that. Portland let these guys run free. They let them do it. Minneapolis let them do it. It's not hard to crush a riot. I know. I've been part of when you crush a riot. You crush a riot by crushing it.
Yeah.
But if you have a municipality that will not prosecute, that will not assist, that will not that actually supports the enemy, that is a problem.
Or either supports the enemy or doesn't have the stomach necessarily for that kind of engagement, because you make the point that people confuse law enforcement. They think that law enforcement
they do have the stomach, Larry, because they would do it in a heartbeat on us.
Well, that's fair.
And
but
we've
not
seen what they have the stomach to essentially torture and abuse prisoners for the J6 thing.
Yeah. No,
they're perfectly happy to do it. So it's not they don't have the stomach. They don't want to. They're on the bad guys' side. That provides a problem.
I meant the point you make about municipal law enforcement, where one casualty is too many, and they're not organized in such a way to recognize that if there were to be a conflict like this.
Oh, that's true.
That's what I meant by not having.
If the blue moves from what they are now is essentially street fighters to actual violence shooting, the police win. The police rule by de-escalating violence.
Right.
They generally win because there's more of them. Okay. You look at the North Hollywood shootout. Remember, 2 assholes walk out of the bank with automatic weapons. A bunch of cops, ambush them, and the cops are outgunned.
Right.
For a little while until the cops build up force.
All right.
The military operates differently. Military obtains supremacy by fire, not by de-escalation, by fire. And you would have that problem. You would have the problem of blue cities with people shooting, and the military would essentially have to go in and kill them.
All right. So let's move on to the other scenario, which is the Red Revolution, which is, we end up having an election like we did in 2020, which everybody knows was completely,
bullshit
and bullshit. And they go ahead and
You're an insurrectionist.
They usher in the second term.
An election that didn't occur in Georgia or Florida is unlawful. Also, Trump.
Or President Kamala Harris takes over, whoever it is that they put in there, or Gavin Newsom for that matter.
Yeah, fucking moron.
Although, actually, I do like the fact in this scenario, you actually end up having a West Coast vice president in Gavin Newsom and the East Coast president in Bill de Blasio, which is beautiful. Eating, it said smoking on a doobie, if I remember right, during a staff meeting. It's a really great book, I gotta say. You gotta read We'll Be Back. It really is fun. But how does that now? Because this is the Red Revolution. This is conservatives saying, "All right, fuck this shit." Talk me through that in what you imagine could be a likely scenario, especially the role of Colonel Reboy here, because I'm very, very worried about that guy. Very worried about Colonel David Reboy.
Yeah, you like that, huh? What you would likely see is the majority of the military plus paramilitaries. That is American citizens with privately owned weapons, essentially mobilizing. They would own massive tracts of land. The blue guys.
Go back a step. What triggers the military to mobilize? Are they ordered to turn on their citizens? Are they?
Well, look, you would see some of them turn on the citizens. You would see others basically coming over. For instance, there are several National Guard divisions in between Florida and Texas. They're controlled by the governor. You could see them turn over. You could see a Texas units going, in this fight, we're sitting it out.
Right.
We're going in. I mean, that's 7 days in May shit.
Which is, and it's also much closer to 1861.
Yes.
Than
yes, there are a lot of people who'd have to make some choices. I think you would see some generals saying, we're going to mobilize and go suppress these these right-wing lunatics, and the lucky general would be General Sergeant so-and-so here is going to escort you back to your quarters. He's going to take your weapon. You're not going anywhere. You're not doing anything. The alternative is to blow his brains all over his mashed potatoes, which is, how some generals have been dealt with in the past in history, when they choose the wrong side, and including Roman history. What you would likely see, keep in mind, there are red states that have infrastructures that already exist. So this is not necessarily, stage one insurrections, which is, small bands of guerrillas, ambushing platoons of troops. This is whole states throwing over.
Right.
When you look at the blue guys, they've got they got very, very serious strategic problem. Their forces are centered. First of all, their forces are not generally the military guys. There'd be some trained military, ex-military, but very few hunters, very few hobbyists, very few people who believe in the kind of virtues that make you go out and buy an AR-15.
Right.
Okay. I mean, normal guys out in the country buy an AR-15 because men own fucking AR-15s.
And forgive me if I'm wrong, but 50 to 100 million American citizens with AR-15s actually is more firepower than a few hundred F-15s. I mean, I don't mean to, in terms of actually holding on to a city, in terms of holding on to an area. An F-15 does not hold on to territory.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The purpose of a gun is to hand it to a soldier so he can dominate terrain. Usually within, 100, 200 meters of it, maybe less. But a guy with a rifle dominates terrain. If you have a guy standing there with boots, that is your ground. Aircraft, they fly around in the sky, where there are very few people. Most people live on the ground. They support the guys with the guns.
Yeah.
But they don't own shit.
Yeah, it's important. I mean, but it's not. It doesn't.
Yeah, and as for the thought of even, I figure there's probably about 1,500 fighter aircraft operational in the continental U.S. Maybe in there 300 drones, which comes to about 36 aircraft per state. All I could say, if you're telling me that's going to suppress a mass revolt, I don't know, but I'm wondering what the Pashto words for "I am unconvinced" are.
For those of you who are just joining us, and there are quite a few of you, including my brother David in Michigan. There's David saying, "Go!"
Oh, there he is.
Talk about Navy football. We're talking to Kurt Schlichter about his brand new book. Well, it's about a month old now. It's yesterday's news. It's called "We'll Be Back," and this is a great preview actually before tonight's primetime speech by President Unity, who thinks 74 million Americans.
Did you say President Eunuch?
Yes, Eunuch Unity. That is correct. Okay. He's all about unifying us.
Does the eunuch have a penis?
No.
Well, I know.
Oh, no, wait. Yes. A eunuch has a penis. He doesn't have balls. Yeah.
Who's the one who doesn't have a penis?
Jonathan Last.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
it's funny because they're sexually inadequate.
And that don't have any genitalia. So you talk about the so both civil wars sort of play out the same way, which is it's not really something the Democrats should be reflecting about.
Their forces are largely centered in the blue cities. They don't have a lot of they don't have the same combat power. How do you conquer a city? How would I conquer Los Angeles? Give me 2 brigades. I don't need 6.
Yeah.
I need 2 brigades. I cut off 101.
You want to watch down
the side. I cut off 5 at both ends. I cut off 60. I cut off 10. I cut off 210. I cut off the 91. That's how I conquer Los Angeles. Every city is 3 to 5 days from being Mogadishu.
By the way, the previous mention of Jonathan Last not having a penis, that's how it happened. He cut off his 5.
Nice. Don't think it's that big. I think it's considerably smaller.
Fully engorged.
fully turgid.
Turgid. You say turgid a few times in this book too. That's the thing. This book just makes me laugh as I'm reading it. It's like, oh yeah, Kurt did write it because there's a couple of turgid references. All right,
I should have done the audiobook myself.
Let's skip ahead to. Oh, by the way, I have to tell you this. I hate because I am an aficionado of audiobooks. The second time through, I've been listening to the audiobook. The guy is good, actually. I have to say.
Okay, good.
But he makes it. You make a reference to Ambassador Rick Grinnell because you talk about the breakup of Yugoslavia and the Czech Republic. He mispronounces Grinnell's name.
Greenell?
He says Griffinell or something like that. Griffinell.
What is that? Like a dwarf who has like the Ring of Power?
It's a character from The Hobbit. It's totally a character from The Hobbit.
I am Griffinell.
Yeah, you got to talk. You got to see if they can amend that or something because that's rough. That's our pal Rick, for God's sake.
Oh man.
Buck. Oh yeah, Buck Turgidson. He's a talk show host, isn't he? Yeah, he's a good guy.
Buck Turgidson.
All right, so let's get. We'll wrap things up here in the book. With some optimism. You have a chapter called "America Comes to Its Senses," and a bit of a setup. A bit of a setup for the next. Who will carry the banner and the next election, and sort of talk me through that. Where do you? I know that you are wide-eyed and realistic about where we are right now, and it's not great when you've got the president dividing us to the level that he is. I mean, let's face it, he's calling us fascists. What do you do with that? If you call your political opponent a fascist, it's pretty easy to take away their rights and criminalize their political.
Where do you go?
Yeah,
where do you go from that?
You don't go back from that outside of
I think you've run out of epithets. Now you got to start hitting them.
What you need really. You need a leader to step up and say we didn't mean it, and I don't think I see that leader anywhere.
No, there isn't one, and you also see this reflected in the refusal to do debates. Have you seen it? You'll hear them that I'm not going to give a fascist a platform.
That's right.
They have literally created a scenario where there is no possibility of a legitimate alternative idea. Kind of problematic, huh? Little problematic for having a democracy.
I know this is spam, but I just sort of like the fact that it's interloped into our live stream.
69 Megacom.
Yeah.
Have a good time. Find your love.
Can you send that to Jim Swift?
Shit. Jim Swift.
He's the
69 Stone.
He's the fluffer over there.
Oh, fuck.
All right. So talk to me about this. So let's get to your not optimistic, but sort of the way out of this. Who will carry the banner the next election? America comes to its senses. What's that look like?
Yeah, we got to crush them. Look, you're not going to reason your way out of this stuff. Okay. The whole idea is, well, somehow, if we can convince them that their policies are poor, they will come around and embrace what we think. No. They have to be stripped of political power at the ballot box. And they have to, their whole poisonous ideology needs to be dismantled. Wokeness, CRT, this gender mutilation of kids shit, the failure of education, all this bizarre climate fascism, all of it gone. You need a guy who doesn't care, I want him to be Clarice Starling, except he likes the lambs screaming. Okay. I want. Oh my gosh! You've outlawed teachers' unions. Yeah, they're outlawed. Yeah, we did it. Why? Because fuck you. Because now it's about fucking power. It's not about compromise. We're not trying to improve things. We're trying to fucking break your power, and we're going to.
So, all right, I get that. But there's got to be some restoration at that point. I mean, we break them and then what? It's not like they disappear.
Yeah, well, what happens? Do we become a different kind of America? I lay out three options. We can embrace a country where each individual has the right to participate in his own governance and his civil rights are honored by the government. That's what I prefer. Option two, guys who think like me are in charge. Option three, my enemies are in charge. I like option one. I can live with option two. Prefer not to, but I'll live with it. Option three, not happening.
Yeah.
No, that's dying on a hot pile of brass time.
You say in your book that this next election is pretty critical. I'm by the way,
I think
that this isn't a commentary on you, but I'm just so sick of everyone saying the next election is the most important election of our lifetimes.
well, it's pretty important this time. It's pretty
But
important
this is
last time.
but this is
fucking
a pretty
happened?
important election. It is.
What you know, there are a lot of consequences for 2020. We have war in Ukraine, which we wouldn't have had without Trump. Taiwan, let me put it this way, short it. Okay, Iran's going to get the bomb, and this jerk off is going to do nothing. Israel might not exist in 2 years because these guys get a bomb and use it, and this fucking walking dildo let it happen. We haven't even seen the negative effects yet. I mean, obviously we've had a recession, except, well, it's not really a recession though.
Let me pull on that thread here, because if you think about the times in our country where, despite all odds, even though we seem pretty divided, suddenly we all came together. It's when we're attacked from abroad. It's when we're attacked by an international force. Is that what it's going to take? Is that what it's going to take for America?
I don't know if that'll work, and I don't know if that will unite the left with America again. They hate America, and they hate it more than they did 20 some years ago. You remember after 9/11, there were a lot of them who were like,
but not the majority.
I really don't want to be pro-American.
Not the majority. Yes, the people who have a microphone, the people in the media, the people who might hold elected office, but I still believe most Americans actually still do love this country.
I think most Americans do.
Well, that's what I mean.
Most Americans have been disenfranchised. Most Americans say the wrong thing about COVID a year ago that today is said all the time, and they're banned from being able to participate in any kind of debate.
Yeah.
I mean, a big tax got to be reined in.
Yeah, you do make some good points about that in the book as well, especially on a day.
We have to get beyond the idea that conservatism is this system that requires us to take it up the butt.
I mean, what if you don't mind that?
I'm not judging. I'm just saying, if you don't want that, you shouldn't have that. You shouldn't take anything anywhere. Unless you're into that scene.
Kurt, finally, before we die, I did want to ask you, what are your pronouns?
Fucking you.
I don't know if that's proper grammar.
Oh, no. Fucking no gold star for Kurt.
I'm very jealous of your shirt. I inspired you. I have a shirt. I have a shirt like that has cocktail glasses on it that you admired, that your wife admired.
Yes,
and now
it's very mid-century modern.
It is mid-century modern.
Swinging party.
It's like we're the Jetsons and we're hanging out in Palm Springs or something.
That's why I was just going to say we should go meet up in Palm Springs.
We should. That would be
fun. My gosh. A Kurt and Larry locals get together in Palm Springs. Maybe we could get Frank's house. Rent that.
Frank's house.
Maybe Angie will come over.
John wants to know
she's always game.
Who's more pusillanimous? Does that mean that they're a pain in my ass?
Pusillanimous?
Pusillanimous.
Val Kilmer or Steve Bannon. That's like your ultimate octagon fight.
It really is. Who would I guess the real question, John, is who would I if I had to choose? If I had to choose, who would I rather have?
If they were both on fire and you had a bladder full of urine, who would you pee on?
Iceman.
Nice. Wow.
Ice. I'm peeing on the Iceman.
Peeing on the Iceman.
He can be my
I think we've
man.
got your autobiography title.
No. Actually, Jeff has the right answer. You pee on Tony Katz. You always pee on Tony Katz.
That guy's into some weird shit, man.
It's true. If I had to choose between if I forget about who I piss on to squelch the fire, because honestly, I'd hold my bladder and watch them both burn. But if you gave me $1 million, or even better, if I could give $1 million to my favorite charity to have dinner with one of them, I would absolutely go out with Val. It would be ugly, but I can
Because he
stomach Val
can't
more.
talk.
Exactly.
He's just sitting there putting crudité down his hole.
No, it'd be a veggie tray.
Crudité.
Thank you.
By the way, crudité.
I've always called it crudité. Why is that suddenly elitist? Of course it's crudité.
I had a chance to talk to Dr. Oz a few days ago, and I found him a very, very impressive and intelligent guy.
Wow.
I did not support him in the primary. I support another guy. I wasn't like I hate him. I was just like I support this other guy. Right. But he won fair and square. You fall in. I had a chance to talk to him, learn a little about his perspective. I thought I was very impressed.
Well, that is
a real American dream story.
The bottom line is he doesn't even have to be impressive in American dream. Here's the thing. You're voting for a majority in a legislative body.
Yes.
You support your candidate in the primary, and if your candidate loses, you shut your mouth and you stick with the person who won the nomination. That's what a party system is all about.
I'm always happy to vote for a guy who I think will provide something useful beyond just a vote. For instance, I didn't know anything about Herschel Walker. I heard him a couple times on Hugh Hewitt, and I was just knocked out by this guy. I mean,
you know what I know about Herschel Walker, and all I need to know about Herschel Walker? He's going to vote with the Republican caucus in the Senate. Seriously, after that, it really doesn't matter to me. It's a legislative body.
But I like it because there are guys who don't feel exactly like we do. And I think that they have something to contribute beyond just the vote. I mean, that's the minimum, and I'll vote for the guy who's just the vote. But, a guy like Adam Laxalt, who I know pretty well.
Oh, he's going to be a superstar.
He's an he's actively good guy.
In his first term in the United States Senate, Adam Laxalt is going to be right up there with our finest senators. He is going to be fantastic.
He is a sense. I can't say enough good about Adam.
All right.
I really like him. I don't know. I mean, I know I've met JD Vance a few times. I like him too. I think he's going to have a neat perspective that we need. And he's going to be a reliable vote.
He's going to be a reliable vote.
I have not met Blake Masters, who sounds like a secret agent.
See, I think he sounds like a
Brad Thor character.
No, it's the secret identity of a superhero in the DC comic books universe. It's like, mild-mannered Blake Masters
becomes super mega.
Right, and along with his sidekick, Tudor Dixon.
The power of Theo!
All right, Kurt. So, Kurt, so that's, anything else about the book that you want to say in terms of
just go buy it, jeez.
But no, well, a lot of us have. This is our book club, so we've already bought it.
Okay, you guys have read
this is definitely, I do like the fact that in terms of your writing styles, you were able to sort of merge your fiction and your punditry, as well as I don't think people recognize your historical knowledge of military history. This is the quintessential Kurt Schlichter book. It really.
I think you're right. I like. There are groups in the conservative firmament that think that they're really super smart guys and very impressive. They know their history, they know their philosophy, whatever. But they can't write a fucking book to save their lives. They can't write a compelling article. There are some, I'm not going to say Kevin Williamson, but some who try and copy my style because it combines funny with insightful, and not being a bitch. So that part's hard.
Kurt, so when you say you're not going to say Kevin Williamson, but you actually say his name,
that never occurred.
I thought that by saying you're not going to say.
No, anyway. No, I think there are a lot of conservatives out there who write boring ass shit that doesn't say anything. And it's better, they'd be better on a panel on the Lido deck.
Speaking of which, we're floating the idea right now that Kurt and I are going to we're going to host a cruise. We're going to do a cruise.
Yeah.
Who's on board with a cruise with Kurt and Larry? And
I'll bring the shirt.
Will you? You'll wear nothing but that shirt.
Well, I'm not wearing anything but the shirt now.
You think we could get 40 people to do a cruise with us? Like
I don't know.
a 4-day Bahamas cruise. Isn't that
4-day Bahamas cruise. I would love that shit.
what the
That'd be
hell?
great.
We fly into Miami, we do Nassau, we do Freeport, we come back to Miami. It's a party. We hang out with Dave Reboy down in Miami. Listen
Definitely
to some jazz.
Dave Reboy.
We all do. He bench presses each of
weights.
us. He sure
I
does.
call him Buff Gandhi.
What do you think of his little puppy, though? It's a little.
I love it. He looks just like Barky.
Do you think we could bring Brian Stelter on as a special guest on the cruise?
I'm trying to cut my carbs.
I don't know. If we tell him that we don't have to pay him. We can just tell him he can eat. I mean,
you got a key to the all-you-can-eat buffet. I am there.
nothing but potatoes. Ooh, that would be cannibalism, I think, in that case.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't Tucker Carlson send him a dozen donuts?
He did. All right.
Love that.
All right. So that's it with the book. I'll be back. We'll be back. Jesus Christ, Larry. It's We'll Be Back by Kurt Schlichter. Grab the book. Get it at, you prefer people buy it at Amazon, or do you give a shit?
Go buy it at Amazon. It's easy.
There you go. All right.
Amazon's been very good to me. People have a lot of beef with Amazon, not me.
If you guys have questions for Kurt, go ahead and throw them in now. There's been way too many comments for me to go back and check on. And if you're a member of the locals page, we will go ahead and give your question prominence. If it's about the book or if it's about whatever you want to ask him about. Kurt, are you, we should spend a little bit of time because we've known each other back to the Breitbart days. And I think it's very cool that we're now sort of brothers in arms at Town Hall. The Town Hall website. It's fun. It's fun that you and I sort of have emerged together as sort of this team at Town Hall. And Town Hall's about to get redesigned. We got a redesign coming in. It's going to be fantastic.
What?
Yes.
Nobody tells me this. Everybody's like, Kurt, can you edit my thing when you're I'm like, fuck, I don't do anything. I just write. But you're a senior columnist. Yeah. I'm over 55 and I'm a columnist.
I know. I've been coming into the office every day now because I'm like doing pre-production on this Salem News show thing. And some of the writers come in and sit in my office and say, hey, so and they're like asking me like for pointers.
What's Kurt like?
Exactly. That's what every other question is. So you actually know Kurt. Tell me more about him. But it's like, wait a minute, that's not my job here. I don't okay, sure, let's talk.
Is he as amazingly potent as he seems?
All right. So our friend Rob O'Donnell wants to know, when are you back on the East Coast? You were just here in July. I missed you when you were here in July, Seth.
Yeah, I don't know when I'm going back. I need 26 frequent flyer points to get my premier status again. So
are you
I've got
are you United or American?
United.
You're United. I just hit Platinum Pro. So I'm faced with this thing now where I have 4 months left and I could get up to executive platinum on American. But it's gonna but it takes like 70,000 and I'm gonna be short by about 15, I think, by the end of the year. So I'm thinking like, what if we go to Israel for Christmas or something just to get executive platinum?
I know, right? I'm just trying to get one so I get my bag slightly quicker.
Exactly. Is it really that important? All right,
you get
Tommy.
2 bags of pretzels.
Tommy wants to know what your favorite car is. You tend to get BMWs all the time, don't you?
Always. I always get the same BMW.
Which one? 520i?
530i.
Oh, that's close. I've been in that car.
The 7 Series is too big. 4 Series is too small. 6 Series is off the table because my wife doesn't want me having a midlife crisis.
And you know what my car is?
What is your car? Oh, I remember.
God. Never mind. You forgot. I don't want to get into it. Forget it.
Okay. I may buy this one instead.
Let's just say I would not be able to drive right now in California because of your new rules. So.
Oh, no!
Our friend Ball State alum that goes all the way back to the Stage Right show and the Hour of Hate. He actually is our grand poobah of the book club. Jeff wants to know, is being a lawyer and a command line Army officer have an influence on your writing?
Oh, huge. As a lawyer, you only have you can't just write. You have a certain number of pages or words allowed. Every line has to hit. As an Army officer, if you're doing it right, you're very clear so people understand exactly what you're saying all the time. So there's never any ambiguity. Although some dickhead in the Pacific, I guess the Pacific Air Force, say, now you can't use gendered pronouns. You must say things like this NCO is, or that officer was, instead of he or she. And it's like, besides the utter idiocy of it, now you're being unclear.
Yeah.
Okay, pronouns
provide clarity in the chain of command.
Clarity.
But Kurt, isn't this all the luxury and benefit of being in a relatively peacetime situation? When the shit comes down, this all goes away. Our warriors are still warriors, right?
No. Why would you think it would go away?
I don't know.
Why do you think it would?
I don't think it goes away, but
it's an investigation of somebody who misgendered somebody in the middle of a fucking war zone. Why would you think that?
I guess because I'm naive. I mean, I want to think that. It's because I want to think that.
Soldiers do what commanders check. Dick shit checks that nonsense. So that's what you're going to get. That's all you're going to get.
Our friend Prairie Dog SD, also known as Larry Head. Oh, look at he's even got prairie dogs in his
I like that.
In his picture. He's a South Dakota chap. He goes all the way back to the old Stage Right show in the Hour of Hate. He says, screw the cruise ship, do a Kurt and Larry Vegas concept. Actually, that's not a bad idea.
We could do a pre-Vegas.
Yeah. I mean, Vegas.
That's a quick flight. We get a couple points going.
It's pretty easy to get there. By the way, if we go to I think it's Red Rocks, the resort out in Red Rocks, which is off the strip, it's like being on a cruise ship. All the restaurants and casino, everything's right there in one place.
Oh, that'd be cool. We just need a little conference room, and we can do panels.
That might be exactly. What would your panel discussion be, Kurt, that you would do? Would it involve the bulwark or the dispatch?
It would certainly involve the bulwark. Discuss pool boy liberation.
Pool boy liberation. Travis Bartholomew.
I am more than just a man who satisfies your woman and sweeps dead raccoons from your water.
I'm sorry, what accent is that exactly?
I don't fucking know.
I know I need to know what the nation of origin there is.
It's bulky.
Travis, watching on YouTube, asks, what is the most ate-up thing you ever saw a leader do in the military?
Oh, God. I'm trying to think. There's just everyone. Sometimes you just shake your head, and you're just like, "What the fuck are you thinking?"
Well, actually, let me pull on this thread a little bit and get more specific, so I can focus you. Because during the Iraq engagement, the first Gulf War, you talk about this in the book. Back to the book. We'll be back by Kurt Schlichter. You talk about what your command was in Saudi Arabia. Your job was to make when vehicles come back after being pummeled by chemical weapons and WMDs. Your job was to scrub them clean.
Car wash with guns.
Wait a minute. I mean, that's when they told you that was your job. You're like, sir.
I was like, that's not right at all. And the funny thing is, because
we're going to bring these contaminated vehicles full of WMDs, but
I go to them. The funny thing is, if you're in the chemical corps, you also have to do biological weapons and radiological. So you have to do math about the radiation. So it's literally the most academically challenging mathematic branch. Sure. I got my only C in college in math. I was a fucking writer.
So you're like,
I'm like,
seems safe to me. Yeah, we got these masks from Lieutenant Fauci. Go ahead and put these on. But you wax poetic about how brilliantly managed and commanded the first Gulf War. People forget how dominant we were. You talk about this you were there at the pinnacle of American world dominance.
I was there at the headquarters of the decisive base or decisive force, 7 Corps,
Yeah.
at the decisive battle at the time where we demonstrated to the entire world we were unbeatable.
And we had
I
generals
was
like
right there.
we had generals like Norman Schwarzkopf.
Yeah.
Where would Norman Schwarzkopf fit in with this group at the Pentagon?
I think he thinks they were a bunch of pussies.
But that's what.
And here's the thing: a lot of these
what gets the star these days? Is that what gets
a lot of
the
these
star?
guys are personally very, very brave. You look at a guy like Milley; he was a fine field grade, company grade officer, field grade officer. I've talked to people who was in his battalion. He's a good battalion commander, and they turned to shit becoming general officers. I mean, he's literally the worst chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff we've ever had. But he also, guy got more gunfights than I did. I was no Pete Buttigieg.
Wait, Peter Buttigieg. I've seen pictures of him with his helmet on. He served.
He's very
admirably.
He's very impressive. I didn't do shit, and I want everyone to know it.
Oh, I think you had always said you did a car wash, but I never knew the details of it. I mean,
I actually literally ran a car wash.
Yeah, but you were washing them of bioweapons and chemical weapons.
Well, yeah, they got to wash it of something. I just did my fucking job.
Right. All right. But I do like the fact that you set that up at the beginning of the book as sort of this is where we were. And it was downhill from there. All right. We have another question here. This is a good one from me. Do you think Eric Swalwell really farted on TV? Or do you think that, because some people say that was just like somebody making a noise?
It's not whether he farted, it's how juicy it was.
It's fair. That's fair. All right. Any other questions for Kurt Schlichter before we send?
You gonna top that last one?
No, I don't think there's anything. I don't think anybody can.
We're not getting any better than how juicy was it.
When are you?
How green was my valley? How juicy was my flatulence?
When are you? So your next book is coming out in October. That's going to be part of the
called Inferno.
Kelly Turnbull series.
Action-packed. I'm writing it now.
Cover art by Salty Hollywood.
Yes, it's badass. It is. It's going to be. It's a lot of fun to. I'm still finished. The great thing about working through Amazon is I can put it out about 2 weeks after I finish it. I just got polish.
How do you like self-publishing versus like this book? We'll Be Back was published through Regnery, which is a great group.
Well, they're very different animals. Self-publishing, I control the schedule. I don't have to ask anybody's permission. I control the schedule.
Yeah.
With publishing, it's 6, 7, 8 months, and you're going through a process. Now you're going to have revisions. And I actually do fewer revisions on these books than I do my self-published ones. But dude, I've sold so many.
Tommy wants to know whether you're wearing boxers or briefs.
Why would I wear either?
There you go. When Joe Biden was asked at a town hall if he was boxers or briefs, he said, depends.
Wah, wah. I thought he'd say, hot dog. Thank you.
Depends.
It's funny because it's a diaper.
And he poops his pants.
Both ways.
He poops his pants.
You can do two.
Poops.
Nadler.
All right. People are continuing to stream us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and we appreciate it. By the way, I want to let you know, as you can see, LarryO'Connor.locals.com, where we do a lot of live stream interviews, including our monthly book club. We also, in fact, next month's book. Hey, can I promote my next book while I'm talking to you, Kurt?
Go for it.
It's the Vince Flynn latest book. It's a Mitch Rapp novel by Kyle Mills. Kyle Mills, of course, has taken up all of the writing for Vince Flynn, dearly departed Vince Flynn, and they are fantastic books. And Kyle Mills is a great interview, and these are great books, and it's a wonderful one. So start reading it now so you can be ready for our book.
My favorite's Brad Thor.
We had Brad Thor last month, Kurt. So let's
really?
leave it at that.
It's the Val Kilmer of the
No,
action
Brad's a very good man.
It's tiny.
Tommy wants to know if you think Pete Rose should be in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. And this is good because you're an expert on baseball.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, MLB is baseball.
Sure it is.
Why
should be.
Why don't you care about sports?
boring. I'm just not interested.
It's just weird to me.
It's just not interested. It's not like I don't have a few things going on.
I hear you. So do I, but I still like watching sports.
Well, look, you like to interact with midshipmen and stuff, and you guys can sit. You can go to the football games. You can sit around watching football with them and bond that way. You know,
It is. It's going to be fantastic this weekend. It's Navy versus Delaware, which is Biden's alma mater, by the way.
Navy versus Delaware.
Game 1 at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium here in Annapolis.
Are you going to the stadium?
Oh yeah, we'll be tailgating. We have our season tickets. We're going to tailgate starting probably around 8:30 in the morning because it's a noon game. The last 3 years, the games have all been at 4:00, so we've been able to have a brunch downtown and then tailgate and be all nice and sauced. We're going to start drinking at like 8 in the morning. It's going to be insane.
I'm liking this. Navy. I'm liking this idea better.
Yeah. We're looking forward to it. Rob O'Donnell's going to be there. Tommy and Sarah are going to be there. We're all going, Kurt. You should come out for a football game.
I'm going to get my airline points.
All right. We have another question. It's from me. So what would you say is your wife's most attractive physical attribute?
I know what you want me to say. Look, I was just reading the Corinthians today where it talks about how people are members of the church and there's hands and eyes and things.
The Corinthians.
It's a whole body.
Right.
It's the whole.
The Corinthians. The whole. That is correct.
So basically, God told me to say that because he doesn't want to see me soon.
So we're sitting there on the last day of CPAC and Trump, we're done. And we have worked our ass off, by the way. You've been all over Media Row. You've talked to, Boner and the Deeb or whatever every fucking
Debo and the Boner
and every podcast you did, the Insurrectionists Are Us podcast from, Sea to Shining Sea. And Trump is getting ready. It's like the prelude to Trump's speech. And we are fans of the former president, but this is we've been to plenty of Trump CPAC speeches, and Kurt and I are like,
we're not doing it.
Because here's the problem:
sit in there for hours,
right? Because of Secret Service,
you can't go out to pee.
They won't let you out. They won't let you out. You're stuck in there.
Yeah.
Or if you do go to pee, you can't get back, and it's just we were done, and we were like, So we head over to the bar. Also, by the way, it's like 2 hours before the speech, and it's already locked down, and everybody's filtering in there and everything. So Kurt, Arena, and I go to the lobby bar. And this was also an homage to Andrew Breitbart, because Andrew was great this way. Andrew would go to CPAC, and he was the biggest superstar there. And he would always just hang out in the lobby bar and just have a drink, and everyone would come and hang with him, and everyone would take pictures with him. So Kurt and I and Arena were just hanging in the lobby bar. And Kurt takes out his phone. He goes, "Oh man, I got to do my my weekly town hall podcast. Larry, just do this with me." And he starts recording. And it just sort of takes on a life of its own. If you remember,
it's a very popular podcast.
It was we have gotten a lot of comments on that podcast. So it is. It's not unredacted. It's unredacted. That's the name of your podcast at Town Hall, right? So if you're a VIP member and you can get a free or a discount or something by using the code Larry there or the code or Kurt, and you can listen to this podcast because we're having a great time and we're talking and we're analyzing, and then Arena comes in, your beautiful wife. She comes in and joins us, and I said, I can't remember how it came up, but I said, look at your beautiful wife there, and you said, yes, she is gorgeous. I mean, look at that jawline. Oh, no, she has a firm jaw. She has a firm jaw. And now, to be fair, we were like 4 drinks in at this point.
You're being charitable.
And Kurt says, yes, look at my gorgeous wife. Look at that firm jaw. And Arena says, fuck you. What do you mean my firm jaw? That's all you got? My firm jaw? I literally was on the floor.
Yeah.
I fell off the chair laughing. It's like, I'm sorry. Of all of the attributes of your wife's physical appearance that you could start with, I mean, who doesn't want a hot woman with a firm jaw? You're a jaw man, Kurt.
I'm a jaw man. All
right.
Thank you.
Are you filling in? You're the go-to fill-in host on the Salem Radio Network, our parent company.
I have nothing scheduled.
Nothing on the site. Oh, you know why? Because
last thing I have. No, I literally have no. I don't even think I have anything for October.
It's because summer's over. See, summer's over and nobody takes days off now. This is it. We are all locked in to our schedule until election day, and then I'm sure you will be called upon in the month of December to do some guest hosting.
I'm sure I will be.
All right. And Kurt, my show is launching, by the way, officially on October 3rd, Monday, October 3rd on Salem News Channel. And when I take a day off, will you be available to fill in for me on O'Connor
if we
tonight?
can figure the tech out?
All right. You might have to go to Glendale, my friend. You might have to go to Glendale.
The fuck if I'm going to Glendale. It took me an hour to get there the last time. It took me an hour and a half to get home. Then 3 hours. I'm not spending 6 fucking hours in the car. Unless, ka-ching.
We'll talk. But for everybody on the I don't want to. I want to talk to my locals group here. If you want to hang out more, Kurt, you can. But I don't want to waste your time.
Literally, my bladder is about to detonate.
Thank you as always, my friend.
Steve Bannon or Val Kilmer is floating in my toilet.
Go put that fire out, my friend. And congratulations on the book. It really is fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This was fun.
That is Kurt Schlichter, boys and girls. Kurt Schlichter.
Adios, folks.
Thank you, my
How do I
friend.
get out of here?
You're done. I'll take you out. There you go. Wow, he's gone. That's the one and only Kurt Schlichter. That was fun. Thank you guys. And yes, a little house cleaning here real fast. We did take a couple of weeks off there. As you know, I guess our last interview at Locals for our book club was Brad Thor, which was, probably about 5 or 6 weeks ago now. We are slated now for the end of this month to have Kyle Mills, the author of the next Vince Flynn book, Oath of Loyalty. So get that book and read it so you're ready for the book club. We're also going to have some other newsmakers and friends joining us. I'm trying to get Robert Davi, who is the director of the brand new film, My Son Hunter, for Breitbart Films. I'm hoping to get him for an exclusive interview next week right here on our Locals page, and we'll stream that across YouTube as well. If you all can join our Locals page at larryo'connor.locals.com, we got a lot of exclusive content. Plus, you get access to all of my show rundowns for every one of my morning shows. Every single day, you get the rundown with all the links to all the stories that we're talking about in the nation's capital every morning for 4 hours on WMAL. Plus, you'll get all of my columns at Town Hall. And plus all the YouTube, all the videos that we're creating now. We create at least 4 videos a week for Town Hall. In fact, are you guys enjoying those videos? Are you having fun watching those? We're having fun doing them and making them. But my time has been limited. That's why we haven't done a lot of local stuff for the last several weeks, because I'm at the Town Hall Salem studios every day now doing pre-production work for the television show. The official announcement should be coming out next week, but I've already given you the informal announcement when I filled in for Mark Levin a few weeks ago. And the official date now is set. It'll be October 3rd. Monday, October 3rd will be the debut program for O'Connor Tonight on Salem News Channel. We've identified and hired our producer, and we're already putting together the show rundowns right now on a trial basis and doing some dry runs, and it's looking good. It's going to be a beautiful show. It's going to be very unique, and it's going to be very different from what you're used to in the typical cable news spectrum. And I think you guys are going to like that. So we're pretty excited about what we're brewing there. And here's the thing. If you're a member of our Locals page, that means you're also going to get access to exclusive behind-the-scenes content from the TV show as well. We're going to be taking a lot of behind-the-scenes video. We're going to do some daily rundown stuff with my producer to talk through what our content's going to be for the show each night. And it's going to be on live at 9 p.m. every night on Salem News Channel. But we're also going to make all of the segments from the show available at Town Hall and on social media, so you'll be able to see them on demand. It's over-the-top programming, so you can get it on demand or you can watch it live But you can go and watch it. It's a free download. Just download the app for Salem News Channel. You can download it on your phone or on your computer. You can also fire it up at Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and I don't know, all those platforms. Fuck if I know. All the platforms that does that stuff. So we're very excited about that. But again, because you're part of the locals page, you're going to be able to see a ton of behind the scenes content about how we're putting together our TV show every day. And that's going to be exclusive just for the locals community. So if you can, join up and tell your friends to join up as well. Let's bring in our friends, Jeff and Sarah here to the stream so we can say hi and talk about our interview with, where'd Sarah go? Sarah's, there we go. Oh, there she is. Oh, and Tommy. Hanging out in the back. What did we think of Kurt Schlichter tonight? Was he
Well, it was the quintessential Kurt Schlichter at his very best. So it was. I enjoyed it incredibly much, and he's just great. You can always count on him to come up with something incredibly funny.
So, Jeff, did I overstate
no
the level of quality this book is? I feel bad because Kurt is my friend, and actually that makes me weirdly a very harsh critic of his. And I was blown away about how good this book is and how insightful his book is.
I mean, you have to read his other books. Mostly his other nonfictions were more comedy based, trying to entertain, but he's always got great points to make, and he makes them in a very entertaining and thoughtful style. And this is the most, I think, serious, if you can say that about Kurt in any way. But it was really a revelation for me to see the level of polish that he put on this one.
Well, and the historical references, the military knowledge, So, Sarah, you shut up for a minute, because Tommy is a huge. In fact, I know this for a fact. Tommy married Sarah only because, as a way to get close to Kurt Schlichter.
Access to Kurt, 100%.
That was basically it.
You guys don't know this, but it was written into the wedding vows.
I know. I believe it.
We have like a prenup about it. Like if we split up, he gets Kurt. There's a whole thing.
So Tommy, you were like a little girl watching a K-pop boy band tonight. Did you enjoy?
And farts. Because we did a lot of bang, 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 bang.
Right. There's a lot of Eric Swalwell.
You got to do some Swalwell stuff.
Tommy was sitting here doing a Kurt impersonation. He was just bouncing.
Hold on, what way here go?
Can you do
it? I want your Kurt? Yeah, please. He is a man in constant motion.
He is always bouncing his heels.
Yeah,
and so you can just see him.
Wait, but I love it because I'm like that too. So, I'm making fun of him, not because I'm making fun of him. I'm really making fun of myself.
It's okay if you make fun of him too. He doesn't give a shit. Just buy his book.
Make fun of everybody.
Exactly.
And I felt pretty good that I actually got Kurt Schlichter to laugh at a joke I made. I got the handshake from Sinatra tonight.
Well, and that is part of the fun of having Kurt on, is that when people start commenting, they're trying to get a reaction from him, which is fun, and that's always very cool too.
I felt I accomplished my day today. I got a laugh from Kurt Schlichter.
You did. Well, listen, I know that it's a little. Is Sharon Cabana? Because I know that Sharon loves all of our thriller novels that we do, and I don't know if she's still watching or not. I know that she was there earlier today, and this book was a little off the beaten path because it was. But I do like the fact that there was a lot of fiction in the book, and there was he had his little scenarios and snippets of little sort of thriller type. Fiction. So I'm happy that we included Kurt in the book club.
Well, and, I think that Sharon and everybody really enjoyed it. I think that this was not outside the wheelhouse of our group.
Yeah.
That I knew they would enjoy it very much, and I did as well. And I mean, I'll admit it. I did not buy a couple of his earlier works, like from the beginning. But I went back and bought them after I read this.
Oh, good. Yeah. No, the guy's a talented writer, and I'm really, really happy for him.
We can tell.
Still haven't blinked.
So the group, by the way, has decided that the cruise is out. We're going to Las Vegas. It's going to be at the Circa Hotel on Fremont Street.
I gotta say, I'm kind of excited about this development. So we'll regroup. I'll regroup.
We're
with
going there
Kurt.
next week.
Yeah,
Well,
we're gonna be there 9/11 through 9/13.
Yeah.
We can't go there next week. Okay, so
We'll be on Fremont.
Teresa Gammon says this was great. Well, great, Teresa. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Join our locals page at the link down there, and you'll get more of this. Oh, is Teresa part of our locals
Teresa
page?
is part. That's what's her name? She's part of the group.
Oh, yes, she is. She's part of the group. I'm so sorry, Teresa. That's right. I apologize. I didn't recognize because you have a different name on the locals page, don't you?
She does.
Yes. All right. And Tobin, who comes back, she goes all the way back to the Stage Right show as one of the listeners when she was getting her law degree. And then when she got her law degree, Kurt hired her at Kurt's law firm. And now she's, what is she? What do you know, Tobin? Senior partner or something?
Tobin actually is a full-on pinned member of the group.
There you go. Oh,
Hollywood
Tegan. That's right. Teresa's name is Tegan. All right. So Tobin, so there you go. All right. So, what else do we have to discuss? Do you guys have any questions? I mean, it's been the last time we talked was the Mark Levin night where I revealed that I'm doing this freaking TV
that
show.
is true.
Right.
And,
so, how was your anniversary?
The anniversary was great. Thank you for asking.
9 p.m.
We had our 7-year anniversary, Meredith and I did. It was quite lovely. I'm trying to remember what we did. It was wonderful, whatever it was.
Good.
What did we do? No, stop that. We didn't
No,
have
Tommy,
K-Sex.
no.
No. And
I'm sure there was a good bottle of wine. That was
we did. We had a fine dinner. And things have been incredibly busy. And we've been, well, as you've seen, I mean, Sarah, you're posting all these social media videos that we're making at Town Hall over at the locals page. And that's sort of, these are all dry runs for some of the content we're going to do on the show, which is kind of fun. But that's been time consuming as we assemble the show. And we've got our producer lined up now. He may have gotten his contract today, I think. So he'll be starting in 2 weeks.
That's exciting.
It is. It is. Things are happening, and we'll be and there will be a big announcement, I think, next week because all the contracts will be signed by tomorrow. So, and the sun is going down in rural Maryland.
Sure is, folks. Actually, I was going to do this. We can do.
You can't even see me right now.
There you go. Wow.
Wait, are you tanner than I am?
Put your arm up.
She's been floating down rivers a lot.
Yeah, man, I floated down the river. No, you're way tanner than I am. I'm from the desert, so my tan is different than yours.
Wait, just because you're Jewish doesn't mean you're from the desert.
My people are from the desert. That's exactly what it means.
Yes, you're totally, absolutely. You're Sephardic is what you are. You're from Ethiopia is what you are. God.
It's like me saying I grew up in Miami, so therefore I have a better tan. I haven't lived in Miami in 20 years.
No, it's like you saying your great grandfather grew up in Miami, and therefore you have a tan.
From the desert.
My people are from the desert.
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Exactly.
All right.
Jeff does get it. Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh my God.
All right. I got nothing else for you people other than things are busy. But like I said, we're looking to get Robert Davi for a live stream next week to talk about his new film that he directed called My Son Hunter. And then we're looking to get Sarah, I think we need to get a Kira Davis update on her campaign.
Do
you think she wants to do a little local thing?
To do that. In fact, I'm going to
she has the time.
I'm going to see her in Las Vegas next week, so I'll have
there
a
you
chat
go.
with her face.
Why don't you line that up, and you can say that I will promise her some donations to her political campaign.
Ooh, there we go.
This is pay for play, baby. This is how it's done. Hey, how do you think I got Nikki Haley on the show today? Come on, this is how it's done, people.
Quid pro quo, Larry.
Wonderful.
We'll talk. So this week, but and then we're booked for the 29th for the next book club officially.
Yes,
it is the
29th once again. The book for the next book club for locals and join the locals page. You can get all the details on it. Is Oath of Loyalty, the latest Vince Flynn Mitch Rapp novel by the one and only Kyle Mills, who is
he's going to be great.
Man. Look at that. That is one good-looking individual.
Well, that's Vince. That's Vince.
He's like a little.
That's Vince.
That is Vince. You're right. That is Vince Flynn. Well, where's Kyle? Kyle is not nearly that good looking. Yeah.
And can I just? This is kind of something that is last thing is. It's really. I still don't. I didn't get the chance to act, and I probably will never ask him, but the whole thing that Kurt with Brad Thor, I just don't get it.
He has a thing about Brad.
I just don't know.
I don't know where it came from, and I just listen. We move on when he brings it up. He likes to poke the bear.
Yes, he does. Very much. So.
Oh, look at that! Robert Davi is on Timcast, and that's right. Robert Davi is actually in DC right now. I wasn't able to see him, but he is in the area. Timcast does his show actually sort of out near where Sarah and Tommy are right now.
Is that why he gets swatted all the time? Because he's out here in the swamp?
Yes.
Oh, that makes sense. You should probably be best friends with him. You and Tim Pool would probably be like best friends.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah. Do you not watch Tim Pool?
Tobin says that she'd be in the book club, but she doesn't read. You're a lawyer, don't you read papers all the time? Isn't that
so who wants to read when they get home? If they spend all day reading, that's the last thing you want to do is read.
I suppose that's fair. You know what? Tobin revealed to me secretly one time that she really likes it when people pull her hair.
Oh,
isn't that weird? I know. I don't know why she told me that.
Legendary.
It's a thing. It's just a thing. It's always been a thing with her. So I don't know.
That's good to know. I'll write that in.
It is. Duly noted.
It's very much duly noted.
Yeah. And then what else can I tell you? College football starts this weekend. We will be maybe we'll post some pictures for locals of our time at the
stadium, at the game.
At the stadium, we will be at the game. We've got a good little crew going to the game. Actually, quite a contingent, including. We'll leave it as a surprise. You'll see it.
Oh,
when we get there.
We got a surprise.
And it was great to see you out the West Coast with your two sons. I thought that was great.
It was
really,
great to be
really
in LA with the boys. I got to see the boys in LA. And we've got and the weekend after next, we've got Navy football and we've got opening day for your Washington Commanders. Unless they get shot in drive-bys in DC, of course.
Oh my God!
Certainly happens. What? It's not outside the realm of possibility.
I know, but wait, hold up. But
the entire team could get shot.
But Larry, listen, but he came back literally. He was in the hospital for one day.
Right.
And he showed back up to practice the next day. He was like, "Hey, coach, put me in. I'm ready." And
he ain't gonna play.
Riviera was like, "Well, dude,
really
the game,
Riviera.
The game is not until next week. You got to wait."
So, Tommy, is it wrong for me? So I have Antonio Gibson as my third string quarterback. Is it wrong that I was actually kind of let's face it, this guy getting shot actually helps my helps. Antonio Gibson's now the starter. It's like I feel bad that he got shot, but this also means Antonio Gibson is going to get the start. So
we just did our first fantasy draft last night. And that was the butt of every joke last night.
I'm thinking my number one pick is going to be Deshaun Watson. Who's with me? Tommy. So I'm doing a fantasy football league with Tommy. I'm going to be in a league with him. Should we live stream the draft? Should we do that for local?
Oh, we should do it. We can do that.
I know we can. Should we?
I'm available for another if you need another team.
Even though it's going to be on the line, but we can live stream it.
Wait, so when you say on the line, you mean online?
Yeah, but so we can go over to their house.
Yes.
We could set up. We'll do
we
it.
We could set it up.
You two can be in person, even though.
Well, we could also do it like this. We could do one camera you, one camera me, and then I can I can do a screen share.
All I need is this. And so that's all I can do. You can do it on your phone. So
but he just show it's.
No, but my point is we can do it. Here, look, I'll show you. We can have you can be in one screen, I can be in the other screen, and then we can have another screen like this. Hang on, wait for it.
There
we're gonna do that. See, there's Yahoo Fantasy. But so the draft can be going on right here, and we can be right here, and we can do the whole thing, and people can watch how we draft our fantasy football teams.
Wait, that's actually not a bad idea.
What fun!
Wait, what?
You could do that.
That's actually really cool.
When's the draft?
It's September 6th.
Okay. Larry, you'll have to check with the missus about your
now.
schedule.
I don't know. Well, I've already got it on my calendar to be available that night. I don't know about the other. What are the other people like in this draft? I mean, is it?
Well, Sean Agnew is in there, so there
is that right? So
Might
I
be able
mean,
to talk him into
we
joining a
we
live stream
yeah.
for that.
we could include everybody. They could all have their own camera, and it could be a whole show, man.
So here's what we have. So
I have to go take the kids the Baby Yoda cake. You guys have fun.
Oh my God, the Baby Yoda cake.
Oh. Hi, I just broke Sarah's toe. All right,
Wow.
so
That's okay. I once pulled Tobin's hair.
we have, so it's going to be you, Sean, but then at least here you have Papa Z, Jay Z, myself, Leanne, and Max. So you have 4 of us here.
It doesn't matter where they are, as long as they have a phone or a camera, they can join with a link, just like you did.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. But the majority of them are going to be here. I think I hooked my camera up to the computer, so then it shines down.
I think you're
Whoa,
overthinking it.
whoa, heaven, let your light shine down, and
All
then
right.
it gets everybody on the draft room. Do you get what I'm saying?
Alex Marlowe also on the Timcast. Well, sure, because it's a Breitbart production, so all the Breitbart people are swinging over to Timcast. All right. Well, we'll
figure it out.
Let's figure that out. Maybe we will do a live stream of our fantasy football draft. Oh, and Biden has begun his speech. You're right. All right, we should wrap this up. And I need to get to sleep because I got to wake up at 3 a.m. Guys, thank you very much.
All righty. Take
Fun
care,
time
everyone.
tonight. Great time. Buy Kurt's book if you haven't already. Don't flash gang signals, Tommy. No, Tommy. Tommy, no. Bye, Jeff. Thanks, guys. Don't
Bye,
forget,
Jeff.
join the locals page and be part of our club. See ya.
Like,
Bye.
follow, subscribe, smash the bell notification. Let's go.
Hot straws and liquor.
Hot sauce and liquor.